Yo, 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 what is up? It is Corey, Jagon, Marco, of course, back with Season 4, episode, I want to say 5 of the DODCAST. This week we are going to recap the LENNON test matches, and we are going to, of course, predict next week's matches on ARMORY. There is a match that did not get played yet. In the Gold Division, it was my match. Because I think we're going to end up playing 3 matches on Sunday, maybe at least 2 definitely, but hopefully 3 because, I mean, it's been just a nightmare to get my teammates online. Really, truly a nightmare. Don't even ask about scrimming because I've tried every night this week, and it's just been 2 of us. So, anyways, jump right into the action. I need to switch to the Discord window since I'm doing the recap portion. Show me, there we go. What? That's not correct. No. Incorrect. I want scores. Where? There's the scores. Okay. Nice. Alright. And get me this. KTP. No, not that. This. There we go. Okay. Perfect. We are golden. Alright, so. Starting off in the Silver Division, that was Thunder. There it is. So, right off the bat, we have Saab 2103 to NOA 97. Obviously, this is what the 3rd match that NOA has gotten to play. Just looking for improvement anywhere you can get it at all. Looks like you got Meep, again, putting up some pretty good numbers. iJab with 20. Meep with 26, 19 on Eclipse, 16 on Shuan, Blue Cactar 11, 8 on Mouse, and on the other side, you got 37 on Toki, 41 on Kingyo, 33 on Bilbasad, 30 on Raven, 31 on Scotty, and 36 on Manor. And on the other side, Eclipse with 21, and Blue Cactar with 20, iJab with 23, Shuan 19, Meep 16, and 10 on Mouse. I mean, the scores, like the kill-to-death ratio scores of NOA, have definitely been improving step by step. I think the map, like knowing the map and how to play the map, is the toughest part of the game to really get a feel for. So just seeing any incremental improvements that we can get out of NOA is a good thing. And like these maps, the more they play them, it'll start to become more instinctive, second nature. You know, what to do and when to do it and where to do it and everything. So, you know, just incremental improvement is all that you can ask for NOA right now, and it's good to see that it is coming. You know, it's not like they're stagnating or getting worse or anything like that. Like the kill totals are going up, regardless of the score, like of the match. You know, because at that point, it's just irrelevant right now until these guys get more time under their belts. Like, you know, it's unfortunate that we don't have another division down. With similar like experience level for teams to play each other, because you know that would be the best case scenario for having the game be able to grow. But obviously, we get like 1 new team every couple seasons, so it's not like that's really a possibility. There's no open division like there once was, where teams could develop and try out the game and see how it goes and be able to play other similar levels of experience. But on the Saab side, somebody's missing. I think it was. Who was it? Nightmare? No. I think it was Toki. Toki looks like he wasn't there for the end of the game, but 35 on Raven, 27 on Bilbasad, 40 on Scotty, 32 on Manor, 28 on Kingyo. Obviously a big win there, but you know, NOA just got to keep grinding away. It'll come. Saab, I mean, it's got to be nice after having a couple of tough losses to be able to get a win like this where they didn't have to panic too much or anything. So, you know, Saab could easily be undefeated this season, like legitimately. So, yeah, they got a W there. Good looks on NOA. Just continue grinding away, practicing, watching any DOD you can. You know, there are people with demos that you guys can watch too, I know, all over the place. DOD movies certainly was a part of a lot of players' development in the game when they were newer. I know it was for me. When I discovered DOD movies, that was like instantly a +5 skill level, because it was like, okay, I can see what other players are doing to find success in whatever scenarios you see in a frag movie. for what that's worth. Obviously, you're only seeing the best of those players' games, but it's something. You can try to emulate it, and that can lead to success. So, anyways, moving on. That was Saab 2103 to NOA 97. Next up, where do we go to here? So I'll save that game for last because I casted it and it was crazy. Let's go to Washed Up versus No-Go. So Washed Up 474 to No-Go 194. I got the score line wrong, but I did get one part of this right, which was PB, of course, as expected. Just dropping absolute bombs. I think I said he'd get 75 to 80. He won up that and got himself 38 on Allies and 44 on Axis, 82. You know, got to be the MVP. You know, if not the MVP of the week, just because the scoreline was a little more one-sided. Certainly one of the two MVPs of the week in silver, along with, I'd say, Rafinha. But just looking at the raw stats here, 44 on Justin, 37 on ProStar, bringing it back right there. Cody, nice STG half on Lennon, which is a big, big deal. 35 on For Real. So who is that? That's got to be Casino. 22 on War Within, 21 on Hopper, and 20 and 13 for Bromley. And on the no-go side of things, you got 25 on Matthew, 20 on Apple, 27 on Spoon, 26 on J-Rod, 16 on Seth, 12 on Dedro. That was a 256-point win, it looks like, on the Axis side for Washed Up. And then other half here, another Axis side win. Just goes to show that Lennon is no longer the horrifically lopsided Allied side map it once was, which was kind of the part of the point of, you know, this rework that was done by Lurf and Tox. So good to see that that continues to be the case. For Washed Up here, though, in this other half, I don't know if this was first or second half, but 137 to 113, no-go won this one. On the Washed Up side, again, Justin PB 38, 36 on ProStar. So what a game for Cody Wingett. What did he end up with there? 73 in total. I mean, just a vintage performance there by an all-star heavy from DOD's history. Really just coming out and laying down the law on apartments. Like, what are you going to do? You got PB on Well with 82 kills, and then you got ProStar in apartments with 73. Pretty much doesn't matter what happens anywhere else when you got those two score lines. Casino, 26 and 23. Hopper, 24. Bromley, 20. And War Within, 22. And on the no-go side of things, of course, Spoon, 37 on the STG. Greg is a god. Obviously, same kill total as ProStar, and that's clearly a big reason why no-go were able to pull out this half. But on the other side of things, 27 on Matthew, 23 on Seth, 22 on J-Rod, 22 on Dedro, 21 on Apple. Pretty even across the board outside of Spoon. Just a good overall team performance, but obviously in the end coming up just short. I wish I could have watched this match. I was excited to see how it went, and it seemed like PB was going to have himself a game, which he did. And then adding in the ProStar in apartments, putting up 73 kills, like that's the recipe for success right there. Does not matter what anyone else does if you get your star players performing at that level, and the other team doesn't have like 3 or 4 people doing the same thing, you're going to win the game. It's very difficult to overcome two performances like that, especially on a map like this when one of them is happening on the major point of the map in apartments, and then PB, you know, I mean, rifling on this map, you have access everywhere. Like, if you get the kills well, you can run up through apartments and help out there. You can then jump out of apartments over to long. You can push up to either first flag. You've got so many options, and having a guy like PB who understands how to work the map in his favor, to find the frags, and to be supportive of the teammates when they die, very good way to win the game. So big W for Washed Up there over no-go, 474 to 194. Next one up, I didn't get to see this game either myself, but I did get to watch a little bit of the cast that Alapex did. I haven't got to watch the rest of it yet, but I will at some point. This was 3H over Shut Up We're Trying, 473 to 255. More on Shut Up We're Trying later. Some interesting developments coming there, but as you can imagine, CK at, 38 and 35, 73. I was a little off on him. I think I said he would get 80 kills, because he usually does on this map, and like 60 of them are from nades. 73 is close enough. You know, that's all you need from CK. Let's see what happened here. On Axis side, again, an Axis side win. CK with 38, 31 on Defrag, just one of the most underrated players in the game by far. 28 on Piff, 25 on Modgers and Austin, and 19 on the Bear. Just really, really well distributed kill totals there across the board. And then on the Shut Up We're Trying side, of course, Illusion 31. He has been as consistent as it gets across the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons now, however long he's been back. 30 on Stark. I really like this new heavy team for Shut Up We're Trying. I think that could be very, very a big factor for them in the playoffs. Having a heavy team of Stark and Crawd to be able to match up against some of the other scary heavy teams in the division. They will be able to control anybody. You know, they're very capable of it, and they can throw curveballs on a few different maps too that I think could be interesting for Shut Up We're Trying to end up playing in the playoffs. Nicholson with 22, Crawd with 23, Trance with 15, and AimTech with 25. And then jumping over to the other half, we had Piff with 18, the Bear with 16, CK 35, 29 on Modgers, 21 on Austin, and 18 on Defrag. They did win this half by 88. And for Shut Up We're Trying, there you go, Illusion. 65 kills total with a 34-21 kill to death ratio on Axis with the car, 27 on Crawd, 26 on Nicholson, 19 on Trance, 15 on Stark, and 25 on AimTech. Really good half there, sniping Axis side, but, 3H ends up coming out on top. CK is really tough to deal with on this map. He does not play the way you expect a player to play at all. You will very often see him, get the 2 kills well and have a second guy there to cap well, and he just says, fuck that, I'm going to their 1, which, hey, they might not get well, but if CK goes and dumps a 3K nade into your spawn, and then kills another one of you with a car, then it doesn't matter that you didn't get well right away because there will be a second guy there to cap it, and now he's got the first flag. So it's one of those curveballs in the playstyle of CK that can prove advantageous on a map like this where there's quick rotations straight through a double cap up to a last flag like that. Clearly it paid dividends in this matchup. I think this is a map that is very good for 3H. You got a couple players that are always going to thrive on it. On the Shut Up We're Trying side, the score line ends up being 218, but you look at the frags, they out-fragged them here on Axis, even in a lost half, and it was close on Allies, frag total-wise, but this team was already very interesting. They're the only team to beat Romario this season, who now are the giant killers of the division, having taken out both 3H and Insomnia, which we will get to next, but I'm very intrigued by the Shut Up We're Trying team and the way that they're put together now, as you will find out in the next few minutes, because I think that they might have just leveled themselves up even a bit more to the point where this team could play Dark Horse, play spoiler on anybody, and I think it's a pretty big story in the Silver Division that shakes things up a lot, which I love to see. The Silver Division is always so interesting. Even whether it's silver, there's silver and bronze. There will be 2 playoff brackets, so there will be technically a bronze division for the bracket for the playoffs. But silver and bronze, they're always so much more interesting than gold. Because you got fucking 5, 6, 7 teams that all beat each other any given week on any given map. It's so interesting. And Shut Up We're Trying, I think, is not a team to be fucked with. You need to be on the lookout for them on a few maps in particular. I think they will be able to just absolutely beat anybody else, regardless of roster on any other team. So that is 473 to 255. 3H over Shut Up We're Trying. I do believe... Wait, does that... I think now... Okay, so I was going to say I do believe that puts 3H in first, but no. Incorrect. So this was the big silver match of the week. Romario, 410 over Insomniac Gamers, 390, continuing the trend of giant killing here for Romario. They had that tough loss to Shut Up We're Trying on Harrington, which I think is going to be a really good map for Shut Up We're Trying, and maybe even better now. But they take out 3H in Week 1. Now they take out the perennial top team in most people's minds in the Silver Division. A very, very close game, obviously. 20 points. This game was ridiculously intense. Duality versus Rafinha on the rifle battle was just so back and forth. They both had so many kills. They were doing everything they could to keep their team alive at all times. Just 3K, 4K, 3K, 4K. Romario defended their last flag on Axis ridiculously well. They were down to their last flag a lot. and they never broke. They never just were like, fuck it, like, you know, give up the cap, we can start fresh. No, they defended, were able to bring it back, whether they killed 5 or all 6, and then work through there to gain back map control little by little, which was amazing to see. This is a map where it's very key what you decide to do after you get that first flag defended, because I think for most people the instinct is to go well, because well is a pain in the ass to get and hold. And if you got teamed down very quickly, like, absolutely, you should be going and get both double caps, but I do think that this map really relies upon using long to your advantage in that fast cap zone. If you can flood through long to get out of a last flag hold situation, like, it's a really good idea. You can even, like, send 2 or 3 guys over there, keep the other 3 watching the last flag, and, you know, rely on them to hit their shots and defend, while the other guys go flood out long, get those couple kills, and try to get a double cap flag back, so you're not just back against the wall. And Romario, really, really good job of that. You know, we scrimmed them earlier in the week as well, and it looked like they implemented some changes in the way that they were approaching the game, and it worked out perfectly. This was a crazy game. This has got to be one of the best games. I mean, Silver always has these crazy games, I guess. There's been a few this season already, but, man, this one was nuts. So looking at the first half, 305 to 171, Romario takes it. You know, like, that's a pretty good Allied side. You're feeling pretty good. 144 points. That's like 3+ caps. You know, 3 caps, and then realistically, like, the ticks you'll make up along the way. But, you know, kills, it was just 4 apart. So for Romario, Manda 21, Lobaton 27, had a really good game there on long on Allied side. Vanaki with 29 in the bar. Rafinha, 29 on the Garand, 22 on Matt. He started off like 14-3 or something. Like, he just came out flying to get Romario their early cap outs that they had on Allied side. 17 on LZL. And then on the Insomnia side, of course, Sean, Micah, Sabine, Duality, Seanality, Chemical, whatever you want to call him. 39 kills on the car. Just a hair away from that 40. He was very close to getting it multiple times. Got robbed, but Sean has been as consistent and as game-breaking a rifle as there's been in the game these last few seasons, and he's continued on that trend in what was a very tough matchup. He did everything he could to will Insomnia to victory. Hypnotic had 21, 9 with 16, had like a hole with 18, 26 on Riv on the Unt, and then 21 on Pibian, who has been a really fun sniper to watch this season. He had a great Allied side as well. So then, going into the second half, it was a 141-point lead. As you can see there, they end up winning by 100 and... Oh, sorry, it was 144, and they end up winning by 114, Insomnia. So just short. That, like, they were very close to capping out numerous times, and that cap out would have won the game. But on Romario's side, 19 on Lobaton. The rifle duo was the big story here. LZL with 34 on the car, and Rafinha 35 on the car. Lots of multi-kills. Lots of high-impact frags, defending the flag, breaking the flag, pushing up to the last flag, just all over the place, pushing apartments to swing. 22 on Man, 24 on Vanaki, and 23 on Matt. And then on the Insomnia side, you had 16 on Head Like a Hole, 13 on Hip, 30 on Pibian. Really good Allied side there. He got a lot of kills on Aggression, you know, actually pushing up through the long steps in the L Hall. He was doing a good job of keeping him from even sniffing like the bench area. 31 on Riv, great half in apartments, as well as 9 who had 32. Just a clinical heavy half there on the bars. Romario were able to find ways around that, though. Like I said, using long to their advantage, not overextending after they get a few kills on defense. Just they looked really good in that regard. And then 35 once again on Sean. So that was 74 kills for him. Like, he's just guaranteed 70+ every week. Kills were dead even this half. Like, it was +4 first half and now dead even. Just an absolutely awesome game to watch. Really, really fun to see how both these teams approached the game and see how their star players came out and performed. And, you know, everybody was on their shit. It's just that Romario, when push came to shove and they needed to hold their last flag and not break, they did hold their last flag and they did not break. They fought out of it long enough to be able to hold on and get the upset win. And, you know, that's the 2 favorites that most people would have said heading into the season in Insomnia and 3H have both been beat by Romario, my dark horse pick to win the division. You know, I love these guys. It's been the same way since Season 1, so I love getting to watch them play. I try to cast as many of their games as I can. This one, I did not pick them to win heading into it. I thought Insomnia had it, but Romario just came out and executed their game plan perfectly, and their star players came and performed when they were asked. So really, really fun game to watch all around. Nothing for Insomnia to hang their head about. Lennon's a bit of a fucky map, too. And just, you know, they're going to have a matchup against 3H coming up on Anzia, which will be a big one, I think. And they just got to get back on the winning track, and I think they will. Like, this team is stacked to the tits. They don't even have Corey Price playing here. Like, you throw Corey Price in that lineup for anybody, and, like, that's... it's like a Justin Lynch situation for Icy Out, where you've got a backup who you know will perform whenever you put them in the game, whatever you ask of them, and that'll be very advantageous, because inevitably you run into roster problems at some point. Everybody does. You never have all 6 of the players you expect to have week in and week out, so I expect Insomnia will have no problem, you know, picking themselves up after this loss and getting back on the winning track. So moving forward to the Gold Division, where we only had 2 matches because Thunder just never plays. Did I get to cast? I didn't get... Oh, yes, I did. I got to cast some of the Chill Pill Icy Hot match. So I was planning on... there's a lot of matches going on around the same time. I started watching the Romario Insomnia game, and I figured if one team was like clearly going to win, I'd just switch right over to Icy Hot. But that game came literally down. Like, you did not know who was going to win that game until there was like 17 seconds left. And the last full spawn wave of Insomnia died, so Romario were able to get well back, and long, I believe. So I did get to cast like the last 2 minutes plus the second half of this match. Icy at 423 to 139 over Chill Pill. Which half did I get? I got to watch the Axis half, and that was second half. Okay, so 201 to 62 on their allied side. Icy at 32 on Vertex, of course. That's what you expect. 27 on Justin Lynch, getting to play his natural class of Sniper this week. No Hildy. 30 on Tony Compton, putting up big numbers in apartments, both halves. His heavy partner B's 25 and 24. 30 on Jesse. It's looking like this may be Jesse's last match, or it might be this week. That's his last match, and then he's going to be gone for the rest of the season. I forget which one it was, but like this might very well be the last time we see Kanga playing this season. Luckily for Icy Out, they do have Justin Lynch to fill in whenever necessary, and he can play any class. William Sick Blackwell having to go long this game, 14 on the Garan, and then on Chill Pill's side, he had 27 on Booten, 26 on Gall, 24 on Colin, Timo, 19 on Arachnid, 17 on Cheese, 16 on Baron. Icy Out, just a tough team to break out of, man. They're all so mechanically sound, like, you know, even when you have the drop on some of these guys, most of them, really, you have to hit a ridiculous shot to break out of these situations. And they don't really miss all that often. You need the game to benefit you sometimes and just have their shot go through you. Or you need to, like, interp them. Sometimes that's what you got to hope for when you got, like, a Vertex or a Justin Lynch or a Bees holding the fucking angle on you. It's just not a fight you win all that often. Second half, though, 222 to 77 on their Axis side. Sick with 21 on the Stas. Justin, again, with 25. Went very, very positive this game. Sniping. Vertex, 31. Bees, 31. Kanga, 31. Compton, 31. Really ridiculous across the board. Vertex was the top fragger and the MVP for the stream. Tony Compton was close behind him at 61. I believe it was 63 to 61 in kill totals there for the two of them. And on the Chill Pill side, 25 on Baron, 25 on Booten, 25 on Timo, 22 on Gall, 19 on Chief, 15 on Arachnid. Just a really, really good game here for Icy Hot. A tough matchup for Chill Pill. You know, these guys are frustrating to play against on Lennon. We played them last season. We won, but like all their players had good scores after the fact, I think, for the most part. Like maybe 5 of the 6 or something. But they are tough to play, and you need a couple of guys to have huge games to really break through, like the Vertex and the Justin and the Bees and the Tony, all these guys, like just so many good players. It's very tough to manage. So yeah, Icy Hot, again, another win. The only loss this season is to NSA on Harrington. As I said, coming into the season, I fully expect those to be the two teams playing each other when it comes to finals time. And I feel like, you know, because you have a veto in that case, it should be a very, very tightly contested match because, like, the teams will be able to eliminate the maps they don't feel super comfortable on. I think just based on previous seasons, I would say NSA has a deeper map pool by like 1. So maybe ICEAD ends up having to play a map that they wouldn't prefer to play them on, but I do think they'll be able to find ways to kind of tactically figure out the best way to approach a matchup with NSA on a map that they wouldn't typically pick. But 423 to 139, ICEAD another good win there on Lennon. Vertex with the MVP top frag and Tony Compton second there. And then the last matchup of the week, over Clinic. 653 to 212. Over love this map, man. I said in the DODCAST, over love this map. Anybody who thinks that it was just No Name that was the reason Over was so hard to play on Lennon was dreaming. No Name certainly made it even harder, but all their players excel on Lennon. I didn't even get to see the screenshots for this game, so I'm curious to check it out. I did know that Anna was heavying. Oh man, that's so hard to see the screenshot or the scores for Clinic's side, but 235 to 175 overtook their Axis side. Saka with 39. He's so good on Well. Kum 23. 24 on Mata. 26 on Caffrey. I know this is his favorite map. 20 on Ana on the Heavy. And Mata with 24 on the Sniper. I wish I could see this a little bit better. But on Clinic's side, it looks like... shit. I'm going to get real close on this motherfucker. So 22 on Carp. 28 on Candy. 25 on Vic, 25 on Element, who got in this week, which was cool to see. I cannot tell what looks like 17 on Tom and 27 maybe on Suave, or 24. I'm going to say 27. But, like, overall, pretty even half there. It looks like Over might have got 1 extra cap compared to Clinic. But then, obviously here, based on that total score, Over comes out on their allied side, 418 to 37. So much for all the times I was talking about the Axis winning their halves on Lennon. Wow. So 40 on Kum. So good on the Garand. He's a ridiculous Garand. 38 on Caffrey on the Bar. 21 on Ana. 30 on Mata. 31 on 50. And 34 on Saka. Did I not say 50 first half? 50 was 18 in first half. I fucked up. My bad, Travis. 18 on 50. And then, as we saw last week, 50, guaranteed he's going to come out and drop some bombs eventually. So if you see 18 first half, you know he's coming for you second half. 31 there on the Garand. 34 on Saka. 109, nearly 200 kills there for Over. So just everybody was fragging hard. And then on the other side, Vic with 25. Candy with 15. Carp with 31, of course, as always. Element 28 right behind him, 19 on Suave, 13 on Tom. Over is just very tough to play on this map. There's no two ways about it. Doesn't matter who they're matched up against. I think that, like, if you put Over in a final situation, third map, and they were having to play Lennon against anybody, they could absolutely win that game, 100%. They just have, they're just great at Lennon. Like, whatever the reason is, whether it's just like they all love the map and they're really good at it, or they have like a keen understanding of how to be successful on Lennon, whatever it may be, you know, this was their best performance of the season right here. Coming out on Lennon, winning by 441 points. Like, that is a scary, scary Over team. And if they can find that same kind of success on every other map too, like, good luck to anybody having to play them. We still have to play them on Harrington. I already didn't love playing Over on Harrington, but if they look like this too, that's going to be a very scary matchup for us. So 653 to 212 over Clinic. Saka, just a monstrous game with 73. Kum with 63. Caffrey with 64. I mean, just they all had a good game. 50 for Mata, I believe. 30 and 24. 54. And then 49 on 50 and 44 on Ana. Just like everybody having a very good week there. That does it for the wrap-up. We still haven't played NSA. We will be on Sunday night. And then I believe right after we'll be playing Chill Pill. And I believe maybe, it's not guaranteed right now, but maybe earlier in the afternoon we'll be playing against Over as well. I don't know who we'll have for that game. I think we'll be missing at least one in Ryan. Maybe 2, I forget. But yeah, so we would have a triple header Sunday. So next week there will be a lot for me to complain about in my life. The DODCAST will be great. So time to move on to the PREDS portion of the video. Swap this window right quick. Get me that KTP Season 4 document. Just taking a look at the standings here. As you can see on the gold side, there are still some matches to be played and figured out for everything, but NSA remain undefeated. Icy out at 3-1. You could see over, if they get the win over us on Sunday, also move to a 3-1 record. Obviously, we have 2 matches to catch up on, and then a 3rd match to play Sunday. Clinic at 1-3, and then Chill Pill at 0-4. And then on the silver side of things, Insomnia 3-1, 3H 3-1. Romario is technically 2-1 right now. They did have their bye week already, so like all they got to do is win their next game. They immediately tie things up with a game in hand on Insomnia and 3H. Washed Up also have their bye week already, and Spicy at 2-1. So you got a lot of teams that could come out of these next couple weeks either tied with or within a game of each other. And then you got No-Go, Sob, Shut Up, We're Trying, all fighting for that 5th seed there. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seed. Yeah, based on the records right now. Obviously, getting into points for and points against is a whole other thing right now that I'm sure will be debated to the bitter end, given some of the unique factors going on in this season. But we'll see how that all plays out. Going to be interesting to see how things end up going down in silver. It's wide open still, I think. You still obviously got to favor the Insomnia and the 3H, but I think that Romario, Shut Up, We're Trying, Washed Up, No-Go, all these teams can beat these guys any given week. You give them the right match on the right map with the right guys showing up to drop bombs that day, and it's going to be troublesome for those top 2 teams there to hold on to their thrones when all is said and done. So, Armory this week. 3H has the bye, so they don't have to worry about shit. They're locked in at 3-1. However, Romario and Insomnia, so Insomnia is playing Spicy, so only one of them will remain with 1 loss. Sob against Shut Up, We're Trying, Romario versus No-Go, and NOA versus Washed Up. Armory is a fun map to play in its new iteration. The heavy route has become more wide open and interesting. There's now a extended cap flag on it, which I think makes that heavy route feel more important instead of it just being like a long haul where the heavies are going because they're not going bridge, and it's like a spot to use for flanks and whatever. That heavy route has now become very important, and some of the new variations on that side of the map allow you to affect what goes on bridge as well. Like you can spam through that little halfway wood wall that there is, and you can nade through the little vines above that to break mid. There's a lot of interesting things about that new heavy route. The map itself has been condensed way down. It's no longer huge like Murderette. Really, it just looks like Murderette, but size-wise, it's like half the size. It plays really fucking fast. It's obviously a nice sniper map. You got 2 lofts overlooking the double cap, looking right at each other. It's not like a super protected loft where there's like a massive sandbag or like a huge thick wall. You can definitely be walled in 1 shot in the head. I think it was like 67 damage through the wall with a car if you get hit in the body. So, you know, you can eat a couple bullets, but snipers will be able to get pretty comfortable up there with all the action that'll be going on all over the rest of the map. So, starting it right off, we'll just go to the NOA Washed Up match again. You know, you don't expect NOA to come out and win this game. You just want to see some more improvement from them individually as they continue to figure out the game. iJab, Blue Cactor, Meep, Eclipse, Mouse, and Shuen have been the players that they've usually put out in their 6. You've seen Meep have a couple of good kill totals. Same with Eclipse. Same with iJab as well. You know, these guys seem to be like the players that have come along a little bit quicker for them. So just, again, any improvement they can get. And then on Washed Up side, you got, based on last week, Bromley, War Within, ProStar, Casino, Hopper, and PB. PB been, you know, easily one of the top 2-3 players in the silver division. Been their star player, showing up week in and week out, dropping absolute bombs. And I suspect it'll be no different this week. You know, you got to take Washed Up. It could be like 1,500 to 2,000. It could be 1,000. It's tough to say how this map is going to play out score total-wise. It's been a couple seasons since we played Armory at all. This is a very different version of the map, too, so I don't think that would really tell us much to look back at those scores. But, you know, I mean, Washed Up is going to get a bunch of cap outs for sure. NOA, if they can even just, like, defend against the cap, like, make that a goal just to get capped on less this week. Whatever they can find to take out of this as a victory, it will be helpful in them continuing to develop. But, you know, Washed Up's going to win. And, yeah, that's really all there is to say about it. Like, an NOA is going to keep getting better and better, but it has not hit that time yet where they are, like, in a position to be winning this game yet. I look forward to that time, though, because I think that'll be fucking awesome to see. Much like with CIS back in Season 2. So, moving on to the next game now. What do we got here? Oh, I was looking at the wrong week. Okay, there's that one. So, Romario versus No-Go. This is an interesting one. These guys have had some crazy matches against each other over the seasons. On the Romario side, Lobaton, Vanaki, Matt, LZL, Mand, and Rafinha, who has been a god. A god. Whenever he's out there on the field playing the game, he is insane. Another one of these best players in the division, always having high impact. Whatever you want to call him, the boy wonder, the young stud, the Wunderkind. You know, I'm sure somebody can come up with a better nickname than any of those. But, you know, I think he's the youngest player in the community. And his reaction time and aim completely show that every single time you watch him play. On the No-Go side of things, their roster has fluctuated a little bit with who they're going to start, but I assume it'll be something like Dedro, J-Rod, Saf, Spoon, Apple, and Matthew. Coy and Miller and Decaf have gotten in randomly from time to time, but that seems to be their main six. So this is Armory. So, of course, J-Rod was there for a big portion of the making of this map, which I think will help for No-Go this week. Romario, I'm very interested to see how they play a map like this. We haven't got to see that yet. So I think it'll be fun to watch. They are playing Armory, right? I'm not imagining that. Okay, yeah, because I know the one season we played Armory in Gold, and I don't think they played Armory in Silver. They played something else. So, man, it's tough. So, you know, you got Mand versus Dedro hypothetically sniping. And then that rifle battle where you got Rafinha and Lobaton and LZL up against like Matthew, Apple, and J-Rod, or J-Rod, Apple, and Saf, whoever it may be. The heavy side of things, Vanaki and Matt up against Greg and Matthew or Apple. Like, they kind of swap around who's heavying on which half and stuff, so I'm not positive. I know it'll be Spoon for sure, and that he will have 60-plus kills, but I don't know who the other heavy will be for sure. You know, everything comes down to bridge on this map. You can take advantage of that heavy route and try to use it to fan out through the map if you're having trouble breaking through on bridge. Romario have always been good at finding ways to use the structure of the map to their advantage. They're not a team who just will keep running themselves into the grinder over and over again. Like, oh, 3 guys are supposed to go here, 3 guys are supposed to go here, so let's just keep going there even though we're losing these battles and dying and not getting anything. They will try to change things up and find a way back into the game. And I think that will behoove teams on this map because it's a newer map for everybody. You know, there's not quite a meta on it just yet. For all we know, the best case to do strat-wise is to send 4 bridge. That's an option. You can send 3-3. You could even send 4 over to the heavy route and try to secure that and then work your way back around. Like, there's millions of options depending on the structure of your team and how you want to approach the map. You know, I think J-Rod will have a big week this week, and I think that helps give No-Go a shot. But I gotta go with Romario here. They looked so good last week. You know, I think their rifles, they have such a strong rifle team. You're going to need No-Go's rifles to all come up big alongside J-Rod. That's the way to do it right there. You know, I think Spoon versus the Matt and Vanaki heavy team can end up being pretty close, like borderline a wash. Like, the Allied side will probably win that battle both times with the bars, unless, you know, they find a creative way to play off that route. But it's going to come down to bridge, obviously, and the rifle and sniper battles. And those rifles on Romario just looked so good last week, and just always. Rafinha is insane. I can't wait to see him playing on this map. And yeah, I got to take Romario, I'm going to say, by 36. Just within a cap. Like, I think J-Rod, with the way that he plays, his aggressiveness will be able to result in cap outs here for No-Go, but I think Romario, they're very good under pressure. They're very good with their backs against the wall. They are a clutch team, as evident by winning the championship last season against a very strong, spicy team that nobody thought was going to lose under any circumstances. So, Romario, I think, are peaking at the right time here. They fought back after that tough loss to Shut Up We're Trying on Harrington and immediately came back out to show, like, we are still the guys to beat here. So I got to go with them by just within a cap. Again, if you get a strong performance on the bridge out of No-Go's team, I think, that's where it turns back in their advantage. Sniper battle will be key. I'm not sure who will snipe for No-Go necessarily against Man, but I think Man excels in these loft versus loft type matchups where it's like a big central loft situation as opposed to like long on Lennon where it's kind of like, it's a very fast double cap and once they get near it, it's over. They've got it. I think when he's sniping overlooking the central portion of the map, he tends to thrive in those situations. So going to go with Romario. Going to say 36. I'm going to say Rafinha for MVP again because he's Rafinha. I got to say Spicy and Insomnia probably the match of the week just based on their records. So I'll save that one for last. Saab versus Shut Up We're Trying so we can get into the Shut Up We're Trying side of things here. So looking at Saab, they have had a pretty consistent lineup overall, except for last week against NOA. But Scotty, Manor, Toki, Yanni, Nightmare, and Kingyo has generally been their 6. Nightmare and Manor on the heavies, Toki on the sniper, and Kingyo, Yanni, and Scotty on the rifles. You could see Raven or you could see Caleb play. I just assume that'll be their 6th. And then on the other side here, so for Shut Up We're Trying, you got Stark and Crawd on the heavies. Again, I think a strong heavy team. You got Nicholson on the 3rd, and now you got Illusion and AimTech on the cars because they have picked up DB, who I think is one of the most underrated snipers in the game. He's very, very good. We just saw it in the Chill Pill game that I casted a couple weeks back where he got to snipe because Arachnid wasn't there. He's very, very solid. He's a very good sniper. I think this bumps Shut Up We're Trying up a level here. Being able to put AimTech on a gun where he can kind of be more offensive. Sniping, it's great to have a good sniper, but if you can have a good rifle and a good sniper, both, like that is significantly better, obviously. So being able to put AimTech on the rifle, just unleash him, uncage him, go out, get kills wherever you can, and now we got DB here on the sniper rifle, who is very, very good on both sides of the game as a sniper. You can find him pushing up, getting into close to mid-range battles and winning those, dropping his weapon for other weapons and still being proficient enough. And then defensively is, I think, where he's especially strong. He's very tough to peek straight up. You got to play the elbow peek game with him, try to draw a shot out. He's very fast. His aim is very, very good. He's very good at flicking as well, which is, I think, very important in this day and age as a sniper. It used to just be hold the angle, hit the shot. Anything else was crazy. Now you got to be able to hit your flick shots in this game. The skill curve has just gotten so high, and DB is very capable of all those things. Also, Ryan recently got married. Congratulations for that. I saw that in the cast the other night. Pretty fucking awesome. And now he gets to go. He wasn't really getting to play every game on Chill Pill. Now he will be the starting sniper for Shut Up We're Trying, and I think that roster just got even scarier. If you don't take that team seriously and look upon them like the Insomnias, the 3Hs, the Romarios, washed up, like you're going to lose. You got to be ready for this team now. So, on the other side of things, you got, not Insomnia. What am I talking about? Wrong matchup. I just fucking spaced out entirely. Shut Up, We're Trying to playing Saab. I already did Saab. I'm a fucking idiot. So, this is an interesting matchup. Saab has played close games with everybody. I don't think this will be any different. I'm going to take Shut Up We're Trying because I think, a roster infusion like this, getting to change things around, getting to take a guy off a class that he might otherwise be able to be more useful on something else. Put name tech on a car opens things up for them, and be able to just slot somebody right in who can do the same job as as aim tech did. I think they will come out flying this week. I think for Saab, you're just going to need to see them do what they did against, the no-goes and the Insomnias and stuff. I forget what the close game they played. There was 3H that they played to a close game on Thunder. They are very good at controlling the pace of the game. They're all really, really smart players who can frag in bunches when asked of them. On a map like this, with mid control being so paramount, Nightmare will be able to direct the game with Manor over on the heavy route, and then if they decide to send a third player there, third rifle or car, The nades are going to be super important. You take a straight-up aim battle, and obviously, they're playing with higher ping in general, which can make it tough. Just taking straight-up aim routes against guys like, Illusion. Oh, I didn't even finish saying the rest of the team. Illusion on the other car with aim tech, Nicholson on the Stas, and DB on the sniper. Fucking idiot. But you're taking straight-up aim battles against the Illusions, the aim techs, the DBs, the Nicholsons, like, they're too fast. Like, a lot of times you're going to lose those battles. I know that the peeker's advantage in this game can be a little crazy a lot of the time. But, I think nades will be very, very key. I'm sure Scotty will come up big this week. He's been rock solid for them every week. King Yo on the third rifle, always been a great third rifle. I think if he can have a good game, too, that can swing things back in their direction. And then sniper versus sniper. DB in his debut game here for Shut Up We're Trying up against Toki. Toki going to have to lock things down there on the bridge. But I think Shut Up We're Trying with this new lineup is just very, very scary in that silver division. I think that they will come out and win their first game with this new lineup. I think it'll be close because Sav's games are always fucking close. They understand how to win the game and they just keep coming up short. Or is this the week where it turns like it did for Icy Hot back in Season 2, where they went from losing these heartbreaking, fucking heart-stopping 3-point games to then they win one of them? Maybe. But just instinctively, I'm going to go with Shut Up We're Trying this week. Their rifles and sniper combo is just so strong now. That is as strong a overall rifle team as you'll see, period. And yeah, I expect big things out of that roster going forward. I think any team that already got their game against them out of the way should be able to breathe a sigh of relief now, because things just got a lot tougher when you're playing against Shut Up We're Trying going forward. So yeah, Shut Up We're Trying, I'll say by 24 points. Again, I don't know for sure like if this map is going to be one of those barn burners like Harrington where you got 500 to 480 score lines, or if it's going to be more like a Thunder where it's like 120 to 100 or whatever. I think there will be cap-outs, though, based on the way the map is played when I've seen it and the one time I got to play it. And then, moving on to the match of the week in silver, you've got Insomniac Gamers coming off a loss to Romario, their first loss of the season, up against Spicy Butthole. Coming off their bye week, they are 2-1 as well. Another one of those one-loss teams in silver. This is going to be an interesting one, too, because of the rifle and sniper combo. So, on Spicy Butthole's side, you got Laura on the third. You got the dynamic duo of D's, Dillard, and Die Life on those rifles, which is going to be huge for them in this matchup. Stealth on the sniper, and then Stamp and Twist on the heavies, who have very good chemistry together on the heavies. Played together for 3 straight seasons now. Just continuing to get better and better together. Like, building chemistry on these route partnerships is so huge. Like, even within a team building chemistry overall, like, it's not just about that. It's about with your, if you're, say, constantly going routes with the sniper, you need to build chemistry with that person, understand what one another do. They got that on Spicy Butthole. And then on the Insomniac Gamer side, I assume it'll be something like this, but there is the chance for anyone else to come in there, because they do have both Corey and Purdy on their roster able to play on a moment's notice, I'm sure, which is a very scary thing. I think that's part of what makes Insomniac still like the favorites in the division, because anytime you could run into a Purdy or you could run into a Corey Price, and it could be, those are guys who are able to go off and take control of games themselves. But based on last week, just assuming the same roster, you got Sean, you got Head Like a Hole, you got Nine, you got Pibbian, you got Riv, and you got Hip. Like I said, Purdy and Corey Price could swap in for anybody in there, and they're just fine. Like I just spoke about, nades and rifles. Riv and Nine on the heavy route up against Stamp and Twist. That'll be key. Like, you can get Waterhouse control on Allied side. You can make things near impossible for that Axis Bridge team, especially on this version now, because you can jump out of Waterhouse onto the bridge now like you could on Murderette. You didn't used to be able to do that on this map, but now you can. So, like, that heavy matchup is still very important for sure. Nine and Riv had a really good game together on Lennon last week. They look like they're getting that chemistry up and understanding one another's play style and who's going to do what, who's going to be that first point of contact, who's going to be the guy to hold. That's a spot where, for Spicy Butthole, if you can come out with a wash there, you're feeling good about it. Then on the bridge side of things, though, if you have, say, Head Like a Hole, Sean, Pibbian, and Hypnotic, up against Life, Dillard, Laura, and Stealth. So Pibian against Stealth is going to be a fucking banger of a sniper battle. I can tell you that right off the bat. No clue who wins that battle. It'll be fun. This is a sniper's map right here. Just plain and simple. Both those lofts are fun to play in. That's going to be a major X factor in this game. I don't know who wins that battle. And then the Dillard, Life, Laura versus Sean, Head Like a Hole, and either Hypnotic or Purdy or Corey Price, whoever it may be. It's going to come down to that bridge team. And this is a fucking heavyweight battle on the bridge side of things. You know Sean is going to end up with 65 to 80 plus kills every time out. You got to get more support from the other rifles this week. It's going to be very important because you know that Life and Dillard are both going to have 60 to 70 to 80 kills. Like every week they do, without fail. I don't even need to question this. They will have 60 plus kills, each of them. So Insomniac, to win this week, they need to... Pibian needs to have another strong game, which I'm sure he will. I have no worries about Pib. He's looked great every time out. He's a very good, experienced sniper. You just need to have some backup for Sean on the rifles. You need somebody else to put up like 50 total kills, 45 in that range at least, and have good nade support on that bridge. Obviously, you're not always just peeking bridge and killing 3 people. Like, you need to have good nades on this map. It's a very straightforward bridge cap. There's not a lot of cover. So if you can use your nades to your advantage, that's where you win the game on the bridge. You know that Spicy Butthole will be able to do that. Man, I don't know. This is a really tough call because, man, Spicy just... That bridge team is going to be so good together. And I think, like I said, on the heavy route, like it could be a wash. I guess it depends on who sends who as a third person if they do onto that route, hypothetically. I think Insomniac, after that loss, are going to be coming out like really just fucking hungry for a win there. Such a close game. Losing by 20 points, so heartbreaking. But these guys are motivated to get better and better. I know they've been scrimming this week. I think they will be able to weather the storm that comes from the Life and the Dillard. And you got to take Insomniac here. If they lose again, like, okay, maybe that starts to reorganize what's going on at the top of the Silver Division. For the time being, I'm still assuming Insomniac and 3H are like the big guns in the division that everybody needs to be on the lookout for come playoff and finals time. I'm going to take Insomniac to win by 47. I think Sean will have like an epic game this week. This is a map that is very well suited to his mechanical gifts on the rifle. Like, I think he will be able to take advantage of the way the map is built on the bridge, and then even further, the way that the heavy route kind of looks over onto the bridge. These long-range rifle battles where, like, a guy can be holding an angle, but you have a wide range of space for him to be able to strafe. I mean, he's got a ridiculous strafe, both, elbow and wide peak style. And yeah, I think that you don't need a lot from the other rifles. You just need a little bit more than you got on Lennon, and I think they'll be fine. I think they'll do that. Pibian versus Stealth, I really want to see. Like, I really hope I can cast this game, but based on the fact that I'm going to be playing 3 matches Sunday, I'm guessing I don't get to cast anything this week, which is a bummer, because Armory games were fun in the past to cast. But I'm going to say Insomnia by 48. You just get one unexpected big performance on the side of Spicy Butthole that can bring it back in your favor. I think Insomnia will find a way to win this week after that tough loss last week. They will reaffirm themselves as one of the 2 big teams to beat in silver. And Sean is going to go out there and end up with 70 to 80 kills or more. Man, Pibian versus Stealth on this map, though, is going to be something. I really, I hope even if I don't cast it, that somebody else does so I can watch a shoutcast version of it, or that I can get the HLTVs after. Yeah. It's a tough one to call, but I feel like Insomnia will find a way to bring it back onto the winning track this week. So, but Life and Dillard are going to have a bunch of kills. Those 2 guys never stop getting 60 or more kills in a game. Moving on. Oh, was that the last match of Silver? Yeah, it was. That was the match of the week. Okay, so it was Washed Up to win, Romario to win, Insomnia to win, and Shut Up We're Trying to win. Again, I'm curious to see what the scores look like just for future reference to be able to predict things a little bit better. I'm pulling it out of my ass right now because for all I know, it's going to be a map that plays like Thunder and Donner where like you never see, you know, like if you see a 50-point win, it's because it's a blowout. But I don't know. So moving on to gold. So right off the bat, we play against Chill Pill. Good luck, have fun to those guys. I think we're both going to be missing somebody. I'm not sure. I think Booten is gone for Chill Pill. And I think for us, we're going to be missing Grant or Ryan or both. I don't know. We're missing people all the time now. It's been impossible to keep up with. I picked the worst season to be back on scheduling duties. Let me put it to you that way. But for Chill Pill, Arachnid, Chi, Gall, Baron, Teemo, and then whoever they're going to use as their sixth. I'm not sure if it's going to be Ben or a Ringer. I'm guessing a Ringer. I don't think Ben's really been around that much. And then for Thunder, Tox, Jagon, Jules, Dorito, and just say Ryan and Grant. I forget who we're going to be missing. You know, if anybody's missing, it'll be John Gale playing, and then if another person's missing, it'll be Ace playing. Or I guess depending on the class, if it's a heavy missing, it'll be Ace. If it's a rifle, it'll be John. So, you know, I think this will be a pretty close game, just in general. The rifles on Chill Pill, and in particular, Teemo with those nades, man. I can't keep talking about the nades enough. This map has a lot of nice little spots to get multi-kill nades, or at least chip away at a second guy if you don't kill him. That'll be a big factor in every one of these games, but I think Teemo in particular with his nading acumen will be a bit of a game-breaking play on this map. You know, for us, Toxinator made the map. That's always an advantage. Season 1 against T3, I think he had like 52 kills on Axis and like 40-something on Allies, so he'll get a lot of kills. On the other hand, we haven't been playing DOD at all, so like, what can you expect from anybody else? Brian looked good last week. Jules looked okay. I looked like shit. I think Ryan and Grant had a tough game. Like, you know, I don't know what to expect out of my own team at this point. Hopefully, the better version of Thunder will show up even without playing DOD in particular. But yeah, I don't know what to expect out of this game at all. Good luck, have fun, Chill Pill. I guess at least by this point, we'll have played at least one match. So, like, we should be warmed up. But it will be also against NSA, so will it be that much of a warm-up, or will we just get shit on and then not want to play a second match? That's also entirely possible and could be a factor in who wins this game, 100%. You know, you get a tilted 6 players going into a map that we haven't played at all, like, or we did play it back, like, I don't even know, like 2 or 3 months ago in a scrim, and not since, so it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes. Someone should shoutcast that. On to the next matchup. What do we got here? Ooh, NSA versus Over and Clinic versus Icy Hot. Okay. I would say NSA Over is probably the match of the week after how Over looked last week, so I'll go to Clinic versus Icy Hot. I did switch. Oh my god, for a second I was like, did I not switch over to the to the Google Doc? Let me see here, just to double check. Week 5, okay. Yeah, okay. So Jesse Kanga will be here this week. Confirmed. Just to correct what I said earlier. He will be here for Armory, but then he will be gone for the rest of the season. So on Icy Hot side of things, it will be Jesse, Sick, Bees, Vertex, Compton, Hildy. Up against on the Clinic side of things, if it's the same as last week, it'll be Tom, Candy, Suave, Carp, Vic, and Element. Or will Insom be back this week, or will Allen play? I'm not sure. They've got a lot of good players to be able to swap in and out. I think with Clinic right now, just the biggest factor is they're a lot like us, where they're playing mostly CS2, so they're not getting in those practice reps with any consistency as a team, certainly at least. Obviously, they're all good players, and they're able to still shit on you without a lot of practice reps. But at the same time, it can be tough going into a game against a team like Icy Hot, who can just kind of like strangle you out. You know, Icy Hot certainly scrim whenever they can. I know they get at least one in per week. So right there, that's an advantage. Carpenter versus Hildy will be a fun sniper matchup on this map for sure. As well as Candy, Sam as a third rifle, whichever route he gets to go. I think he'll be really good, obviously, as I have said over and over again. Best third rifle, consistent third rifle in the game. There's a lot of other people that play with the Stas randomly sometimes and get a lot of kills. But when it comes to third rifle as his class, Sam is the guy to look for. The rifle team on Clinic is very capable of going off for extensive streaks that can lead to cap-outs. They're going to need a lot of that against Icy Hot. Problem is, too, Icy Hot is very good at preventing that. They will not hesitate to just lock shit down after they lose 4 of their players. And you got to then proceed at your own risk. Are you willing to push up and go potentially 2v2 against, like, you know, Vertex and Sick, or Vertex and Bees, or Vertex and Kanga, and win those battles, or Vertex and Hildy, whatever it may be? It can be tough to push the pedal to the metal in those situations where you know, like, we could push and cap here, but if we die in the process, we lose all our map control, and then shit gets going downhill. You know, you figure Icy Hot will win this week, but it is a new map. You don't know. You don't know how Icy Hot will take to this map. I assume they'll be just fine, but you never know. We've seen in the past some pretty interesting upsets on Armory in the one season it existed, so this is a potential map to see it happen. I'm going to take Icy Hot, though. I'm going to take them by, say, like 85. I think Candy will have a big game on Bridge, and I think Carp will have a big game on Bridge. I think that their cars will be just fine. Like, I think they're all going to have good scores across the board. On the heavy route, Bees and Tony versus Vic and Tom, or Vic and Allen. You know, obviously, we saw Bees in the preseason game on Armory. Absolutely insane on this map. So if he can do that again, it doesn't matter who he's playing against. But the Clinic Heavies are good at controlling the pace of the game as well. If they can find a way to just kind of like put a little bit of a wet blanket over Bees and not let him get going. When Bees gets going and he gets, you know, those first 2 or 3 kills, like, he will just get another 4 just because. So you got to prevent that from happening. Even if it means just like, okay, I'm not going to take this battle heads up. I'm going to take a off angle and just try to surprise him. You know, which can be hard to do. I don't do it all that often because my ego is too big. So I will often peek that guy myself and then die to be the 4th kill in the movie clip. Just that real nice movie clip topper. But yeah, I think Icy Hot will take it. They're just going to keep that momentum going and going and going, heading into these seeded matchups where they will likely end up getting to play against NSA, try to avenge that loss, and potentially steal away that #1 seed heading into playoffs. That'll certainly be a big game for both teams. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like guaranteed that those two are going to have to play each other in one of those next 2 weeks after Armory. But obviously losing Jesse for the rest of the season, not good for the team, both in the technical standings and, you know, emotionally. Very much heart and soul of that team. Lucky for Icy Hot on the skill side of things, as we've talked about many times before, Justin Lynch is pretty much the perfect 7th man to have. He can play any class just as well as one another and do it on a moment's notice without much practice. Just come in and go, you know, 60 and 30, whether he's sniping, heavying, carring, stossing, whatever you ask of him, he's going to do his job and he's going to do it well. So I think Icy Hot will be okay in the long run. We'll see what happens come playoff time. You know, that was a little bit of an inside scoop there that Jesse gave me. So yeah. Icy Hot by, like I said, like 85, you know, like 2 caps plus the ticks. But Clinic never, ever goes down without a fight. We even saw it in the NSA game, like, regardless of what they lost by, they had NSA in trouble a few times. Like, these guys are just good at video games and good at headshotting you. So, on a map like Armory that's so fast-paced, Icy Hot is more of a control team. Like, they will grind you down to the point where you have no chance to stop a cap out. Like, they won't just like go running straight into oblivion and then potentially lose everything they've got just for the sake of, like, can I kill 6 guys in 3 seconds? So like maybe a fast-paced map like this is where Clinic can find a seam and be able to turn things around in their favor. But you got to assume Icy Hot, they're just, you know, one of the 2 best teams in the game right now, period. And then on to the last matchup, which I'm saying is the match of the week in gold. NSA versus Over on the Over side of things. So they had a little bit different lineup last week where it was Caffrey and Anna heavying. I'm not sure. Will it be Caffrey and Anna again? Will Till be back in the lineup? I don't think he likes Armory very much, so maybe not. On the rifles, Kum, Saka, and then 50, and Madan the sniper. That rifle team is deadly. Will we get to see Riley Stafford come in and play at some point? That would be sweet, man. I loved watching Riley Stafford play back in Season 2. He was ridiculous. And then on the NSA side of things, man, this roster is fucking insane. PDX, Taylor, Leo, Patton, and then 2 out of the following 3 of Bud, Debo, and Milo. I mean, that's just an absurd team. You can put those players into a hat, just pick 6 out of it. You don't even have to have them be locked into a class. Pick 6 players from that team out of a hat, and then pick 6 classes out of a hat. They will be able to beat anybody. Doesn't matter what classes each one of those guys get. They're that good at the game. Again, this is a rifle heavy map, which makes it sound like I'm saying rifle and heavy map. But no, I mean, it's very, very big on the rifle side of things. And Over's got a strong rifle team. I don't know that there's any rifle team in the game that can deal with what NSA brings to the table. Hypothetically, of PDX, Leo, and Debo, with then a Patton kicker, just the best sniper that's currently sniping in the game easily. I mean, Jesus. And then, what's the heavy team? Is it Bud and Taylor? Is it Taylor and Milo? Is it Bud and Milo? You're fucked no matter what you do with this team. They're just too good. They were already too good, and adding that Milo and even the Debo pickup, even before that, it just level up. They are very, very scary for everybody. And I think that you could almost pick, the 6 best players you want off of every other team in the league and try to match them up with this team and lose. Just for real. I mean, for a lot of reasons. Not only just the fact that they're all that good, but also as a team, which is the more important thing. You don't need an all-star team in this game. This team is an all-star team, but an all-star team who has played together as a unit and gotten to understand one another's play style and what works for them as a unit and how they can take advantage of the game. And they've gotten incredible at it. And, they're still the team to beat. They're just tougher to beat now. You got to figure they're going to win. I assume they will go undefeated this season. And then it'll be a matter of what happens come playoffs when you got a veto situation. You can kind of try to whittle down, maybe certain maps that you might feel like you could get the better of them on. But, is that really a thing? Not so sure right now. I'm taking NSA over. I'm going to say by 68. Because I don't know what the scores are going to be like on this map at all yet. I could be way off on every one of these scores. This could be another Lennon or Harrington where every match is at least 100 points. I don't know. But, Leo will have a bunch of kills. PDX will have a bunch of kills. Taylor will have a bunch of kills. Nick, when we played against T3 on the previous version of Armory, Nick was absolutely impossible to kill in the lofts, so I assume he will have 70 to 80 kills this week with less than 30 deaths, and some absolutely absurd shots across the map with his pistol and no scopes, and yeah. I would hate to be matched up against this team on this map as well. It doesn't bode well for anybody. They can match up to any roster individually across the board as well as just a team. So, until they lose, you can't pick against them. Until they show some kind of crack in that armor, you cannot pick against this team. And I will not. I refuse. I made that mistake already on Harrington because I thought maybe Icy Hot had an idea of what to do to counter how good that team is at Harrington. But once again, NSA proved it's not just about a specific strat and routes and playing. They are as good or better than anybody at adjusting to everything going on in the game as it comes to them. And then executing on that adjustment, not just understanding what's happening and how they need to change things, but then actually doing it and doing it well. So, NSA, like I said, by 68, but I don't know what the scores are going to look like on this map at all. So all these scores, you might be able to triple what I said, and it's going to be that. I don't fucking know. I think it'll be a fun game, though. NSA versus Over. There's a lot of movie clip players on both those teams. I expect to see lots of like 3 to 5 kill streaks going off from both teams. You know, Saka, I know, had a lot of fun on this map in the past when we were like scrimming against them, and I think even in their match against Skull, I want to say it was in Season 1. And yeah, just, you know, good luck, have fun to everybody this week. Armory is back. We're going to play 3 matches Sunday. Shut Up, We're Trying. Big time team to watch this week in Silver. And yeah, everyone enjoy this map. I think it plays very, very fast. I think all the changes that were requested from the first version of Armory were addressed, and now it's a map that's very even across the board, and that's just fun. It's a multi-kill machine, and yeah, good luck, guys. Enjoy the map. KTP, thanks for watching. Love you guys. We'll be back next week. Somebody cast games on Sunday. I know Alapex will do whatever he can. If anybody else can, because I think I'm going to be playing just all fucking day. So I don't know that I'm going to get to cast a single game this week. But we'll see. Good luck, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. Mwah, KTP. Peace out.